This is Daisy Magallanes and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to share the concept about the fundamental terms associated in teaching and assessment of grammar, which is the grammaring, grammaticalizing, error correction versus feedback, spoken versus written grammar, grammatical assessment, and pedagogical issues. So the first one is, what is grammaring? So grammaring is considered as the fifth skills in language teaching and learning, and it was coined and applied by linguists. The linguist named Diane Larsen Freeman conveyed the dynamic natures of grammar learning process. The learner used this process in creating a message where sequence of words create an appropriate meaning distinctions, acquiring an ability to use grammar structures accurately, meaningfully, and appropriately. So when we say accurately, it pertains the validity of using sentence structures and dialogue writing. It is also considered as one important process in second language acquisition. It emphasized that grammar is a dynamic process rather than assessment of rules. So when we speak or write, grammar involves consciously and unconsciously. In classroom, teaching grammar is performed so that the students will be able to use the grammatical structures. So Diane Larsen Freeman stated that teaching grammar is not so much as a knowledge transmission, but it is a skills development. So next, let's talk about the grammaticalizing. So grammaticalizing is a principle of grammaticalize, the process of language change by which the word look their lexical meaning and to fulfill new grammatical functions. So in the process of grammaticalization, progressive constructions will gradually generalize the meaning and reduce in form. Change the elements from having a lexical grammatical functions, and the noun and verb carry a lexical meaning that develops over time into grammatical items. So now let's move on to error corrections and feedback. So as a student, learning grammar is very challenging, especially if we want to learn language. There are rules and structures that we need to follow. If we don't follow, sometimes we can create mistakes or errors, and those errors need to be corrected by giving feedbacks. So feedback can be a form of corrections that allows everyone to say the mistakes or what is needed to improve or achieved. Correction refers to as a feedback because they are related to each other. So in school, teachers must find ways in order to correct their students without hurting their feelings. So now let's talk about the spoken versus written grammar. So spoken grammar is different to written because when we speak, we have a full repetitions, complete sentences, and different occurrence of instructions that makes it more informal than written. It is complex because we need to make plan and organize everything to make it more precise. Because in grammar, we are following the certain rules and engaging ourselves in sophisticated vocabulary and informative idea presentation. So now let's move on to grammatical assessment. So learning English grammar is not easy, especially for native speakers and second language speakers, because there are rules that need to follow. That's why today's teachers' generation uses different styles or approach in order to teach grammar to their students. In terms of assessment, grammar plays as a central of language descriptions and text performances. So nowadays, the language that we acquire in terms of grammar is to evaluate correctly. So now, let's move on to pedagogical issues. what is pedagogical issues? Pedagogical issues refers to the art of learning grammar. Pedagogical issues is all about the challenges that we encountered in learning our grammar. So, some issues in teaching grammar is teaching large multi-level class that possibly leads into out-of-control situations, catering the students in different styles since there are some students are visual learners and other students are preferred to listen to the target language.
Let's go.